Can I sleep next to you tonight, human? The alien girl entered my room unexpectedly. The night was quiet, the kind of stillness that settled over the human colony after the perimeter lights clicked on and the security drones started their patrols. I was in my room, lying on my narrow bunk, staring at the metal ceiling of the dormitory. Sleep was hard to come by these days. The stars outside the window burned too bright, reminding me that this wasn't Earth anymore, that I was thousands of light years away from the blue planet I once called home. I had just started to drift when the door slid open with a hiss. My heart lurched. "Who's there?" I asked, pushing myself up on my elbows. Standing in the doorway was not a soldier or a fellow colonist, but her, the alien girl. Her silhouette was unmistakable. Slender frame, hair that shimmered faintly like strands of liquid silver, and eyes that caught the dim light with a glow not entirely natural. She stepped inside without hesitation, her bare feet making no sound on the steel floor. "Can I sleep next to you tonight, human?" she asked softly. Her voice carried that strange, lilting accent of her kind, half song, half whisper. I blinked, unsure if I was still half asleep. "Wait, what are you doing here? You can't just walk into my room." She tilted her head slightly, as if puzzled by my reaction. "I can." The lock did not resist me. That made me swallow hard. Their technology was different. The idea that she could bypass our doors so easily unsettled me, but not as much as the calm way she said it. "You didn't answer me," she continued, her glowing eyes fixed on mine. "May I stay here? Just tonight?" I should have said no. I should have reported her immediately. Human law was clear. Aliens could not cross into private quarters without authorization. But the tremor in her voice, the vulnerability hidden behind her confident posture, made my protest falter. "Why here? Why me?" asked finally. She moved closer, the light from the corridor fading as the door slid shut behind her. "Because you are different. The others fear me. Or they hate me. But you look at me as if I am not a monster." Her words pierced something inside me. I remembered the day I'd first seen her, a prisoner brought in from the outskirts after a skirmish. She had been shackled, her gaze defiant, until it landed on me. For reasons I couldn't explain, I hadn't been able to look away. Now here she was standing in my room asking for something so simple, and yet so forbidden. I exhaled slowly. "All right. But just for tonight." Her lips curved in the faintest smile as she climbed onto the bunk. The mattress dipped under her light weight, and I shifted awkwardly to give her space. She lay down beside me, folding her hands neatly over her chest, eyes closing as if she had always belonged here. For a moment I didn't move. My mind raced with questions. What would happen if the guards discovered us? Why had she chosen me? And why, despite everything, did her presence feel comforting? "Do humans always breathe so fast when they share a bed?" she murmured without opening her eyes. Heat rose to my face. "Maybe when the situation is unusual." She gave a soft musical laugh that sent a strange shiver down my spine. "Then I am glad to cause this unusualness." Silence fell between us, broken only by the faint hum of the ventilation system. I found myself studying her features in the dim light, the sharp line of her jaw, the faint markings along her temples that pulsed faintly like veins of light. She looked fragile and otherworldly, yet there was strength in the way she held herself, even at rest. After several minutes, her voice drifted again. "On my world we never sleep alone. It is dangerous. To be without another heartbeat nearby is to invite fear. I thought I could endure it here, but tonight, I cannot." Something inside me softened. I thought of Earth, of the nights I had fallen asleep with the sound of my little sister breathing in the bunk across the room. Loneliness was a kind of wound, one I understood all too well. "I get it," I whispered. "You don't have to explain." Her eyes opened again, glowing faintly in the dark. "Thank you, human." And then, before I could react, she shifted closer, resting her forehead lightly against my shoulder. My entire body stiffened, but I didn't push her away. The warmth of her skin seeped through the thin fabric of my shirt, strangely grounding, strangely real. I lay there, listening to her steady breaths, until my own heartbeat began to slow. The fear ebbed, replaced by a quiet sense of connection that words couldn't name. For the first time in weeks, I felt the edge of sleep approaching. But just as I was drifting, she whispered again, so faint I almost thought I imagined it. "You are not like the others. One day when this war ends, I will show you my world. And you will not be afraid." Her words lingered in my mind as sleep finally claimed me. When I woke, the bed beside me was empty. The faint warmth where she had lain was the only proof she had ever been there at all. The door was closed, the room silent, as though the night before had been nothing but a dream. But I knew it hadn't. I touched my shoulder, remembering the press of her forehead, the quiet comfort of her presence. Whatever the future held, whether she remained prisoner, ally, or something more, I knew that moment had changed everything. Because last night, the alien girl had asked a question no one else dared to ask. "Can I sleep next to you tonight, human?" And I had said yes. When I woke, the faint glow of morning filtered through the thin panel of my room. The space beside me was empty, though the blanket still held the faintest indentation of her form. For a long moment, I stared at it, trying to decide whether the night had been a dream or reality. But then I noticed something lying on the edge of my pillow. A single strand of her silvery hair, gleaming like a thread of starlight. Proof. I picked it up carefully, letting it shimmer between my fingers. My chest tightened. She had come here in defiance of every rule, every boundary our worlds had set between us. And in that fragile act of trust, she had revealed more than words ever could. The colony outside was already stirring. I could hear the metallic clang of soldiers beginning their drills, the steady hum of drones sweeping the perimeter. The war between our species had not paused overnight. Nothing had changed out there. And yet something inside me had shifted. I knew it the moment I pressed the strand of hair into my palm and whispered to the empty room, "I'll keep your secret." Because even if she never returned, I had seen her loneliness. I had felt her heartbeat close to mine. She wasn't an enemy, not truly. She was a girl far from home, afraid of the dark the same way I was. And though I didn't yet know how, I made a silent promise. If the day ever came when she asked again, "Can I sleep next to you tonight, human?" I would answer the same way. Always yes.